call the meeting to order and start with the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Nancy, you want to do a roll call?
Ellen. Here. Valley.
Here.
Book.
Here.
Considine.
Present.
Barster.
Here.
Horseman. Hudson.
Present.
Humphrey.
Here.
Kitson.
Present.
Copine.
Here.
McLean. Minimi.
Here.
Naylor.
Present.
Nicholson.
Here.
Norberg.
Here.
Palin.
Here.
Sheline.
Here.
Shippert.
Here.
Scrogstad.
Here.
White. Williams. Wilson.
Here.
Zeman.
Here.
Olson.
Here. Thank you. We'll start out with item 4 on our agenda, a resolution of Joseph Meyer tax auction. I'd entertain a motion. Mr. Nicholson makes a first, Ms. Shippert seconds. Any discussion? We'll do this by roll call vote. Nancy?
Minimi.
Yes.
Naylor.
Yes.
Nicholson.
Here. Yes. Yes.
Norberg.
Yes.
Palin.
Yes.
Sheline.
Yes.
Shippert.
Yes.
Scrogstad.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Zeman.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Valley.
Yes.
Book.
Yes.
Considine.
Yes.
Barster.
Yes.
Hudson.
Yes.
Humphrey.
Yes.
Kitson.
Yes.
Copine.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes. Motion passed. We'll go to 5. I got a resolution, appointment of Tim Bivens to Lee County Board District 3. Mr. Nicholson moves. Mr. Copine seconds. Any discussion? I believe we have to do this by roll call vote also.
Naylor.
Yes.
Nicholson.
Yes.
Norberg.
Yes.
Palin.
Yes.
Sheline.
Yes.
Shippert.
Yes.
Scrogstad.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Zeman.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Valley.
Yes.
Book.
Yes.
Considine.
Yes.
Barster.
Yes.
Hudson.
Yes.
Humphrey.
Yes.
Kitson.
Yes.
Copine.
Yes.
Minimi.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes. Motion carried. The clerk will give the oath of office to Mr. Bivens.
Having been appointed to the office of the county board in the 3rd district of Lee County, in the county of Lee, in the state of Illinois, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office much. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, Jim. Welcome to the board. Under announcements, I've got please mute and turn off your cell phones so they don't disrupt our meeting. We'll go to B under announcements. And I've got a resolution in recognition of profound appreciation and distinguished service by Mr. Jim Whitley. Do I have a motion? Mr. Norberg, a second. Mr. Copine, any discussion about Mr. Whitley? If none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Jim, you want to come up here and I'll give you this and Becky's going to read the resolution.
In recognition and profound appreciation of distinguished service by Jim Wentling. Whereas Jim Wentling has always been mindful of the interest of Lee County and worked tirelessly towards the betterment of the county. And whereas Jim's involvement in county government included being a member of the Lee County Board for 15 years, from 2006 to 2021, serving as the Lee County Board Chairman from 2016 to 2018, and serving as a member of the Transportation and Solid Waste Committee, Administrative Services Committee, Public Safety Health Judicial Committee, the Executive Committee, and Chair of the Negotiations and Finance Committee. And whereas, even after resigning his duties as an elected official, Jim continues to serve Lee County, working diligently with the Elections Department to assist with elections. And whereas, for more than 15 years, Jim Wentling has demonstrated his commitment to the citizens of Lee County, providing leadership and guidance to Lee County in each and every capacity he served in. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Lee County Board formally acknowledges and extends its profound appreciation to Jim Wentling for the contributions made during his service to Lee County. On here.
Thanks a lot, Bob. Just wanted to say it was an honor to serve on this board, best board and county in the state. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jim. It was a pleasure working with you. We'll go down to the Harmon incident recognition. Mr. Simonton, you want to?
Two on this side, two on this side. Two of you over here. Two of you over here. Good evening. Tonight, I'm proud to recognize at least 4 of the people that were at a life-saving incident on December 22nd down in Harmon. And I'm going to read you a quick synopsis of what happened that evening. Early Wednesday morning, December 22nd, 2021, approximately 12:56 a.m., Lee County Sheriff's Office and the ECC received a call from a family member that a 3-year-old boy was missing from the Harmon area. This family member actually called from 2 hours away. The father of this young child did not call the sheriff's office that evening. The 2 TCs working that night, Erica Grote and Laura Enlow, did a fantastic job of trying to figure out what happened, why this boy was gone, where he might have gone to. Was he with his pet? There are frequent places in Harmon that he would walk to at this time of morning. And they did an outstanding job of doing what they could with the little information that they had. The night shift that night, consisting of Sergeant Derek Rankin to my immediate left, deputies Joe Presley, Colton Morgan, and Nathan Hollinger in the sweatshirt, immediately responded to the area. Upon arrival, the deputies began interviewing the father of the child. Not only were we searching for a small child, but the child was last seen only wearing a diaper, and the temperature that morning was 17 degrees. Deputies searched the immediate area as well as the home extensively. The search broadened, utilizing responding resources from the Lee County Sheriff's Office Search and Rescue Team led by Deputy Kyle Kellen. EMA Director Kevin Lally also responded with the drone. 2 ISP troopers, along with 1 Dixon PD K-9 officer, also responded, as well as Chief Deputy David Glester and Lieutenant Matt Fry to my right. Detective Shane Miller also responded to help with the investigation and coordinate the search. At approximately 2:27 a.m. that morning, Deputy Morgan actually located the young child laying naked, laying in a ditch on the east side of town. Deputy Morgan immediately wrapped the young child in his jacket and then handed him to Deputy Hollinger so they could get some blankets from the squad. The child was unresponsive at the time they found him. It is believed he was exposed to the elements unclothed for approximately 2 hours. At the direction of Sergeant Rankin, Deputies Morgan and Hollinger transported the young child to KSB Hospital in Deputy Morgan's squad car. The location of the county is somewhat remote in that area with no ambulance service in close proximity. Considering the condition of the child, this was an absolute correct decision at the time. Deputy Presley was the lead car, ensuring safe passage along the route to the hospital. While en route, Deputy Hollinger performed CPR twice on the child, getting positive results each time. Dixon City PD was staged at the city limits and assisted with traffic control as the deputies rushed to the hospital. Upon arrival at KSB, waiting nurses and doctors performed CPR while also using the AED approximately 4 times as the child coded several times at the hospital. Eventually, all efforts were successful and the young child regained consciousness. He was subsequently stabilized and transported via helicopter to St. Francis in Peoria. Statements made that evening by attending ER personnel at KSB Hospital summarize it best. The quick actions and decision-making by on-scene personnel, rapid transport to the hospital, warming the child, and performing CPR while en route saved this child's life. I cannot adequately express my gratitude and pride in knowing how exemplary our personnel responded and performed that morning. This was an outstanding team effort by all involved. Your quick action, decision-making, coordination, and response to this incident provided us the best opportunity for a successful outcome. This type of dedication and cooperation is exactly what I'd hoped to experience during this administration. All of you have met and exceeded the highest standards of your chosen profession by serving and protecting the citizens of Lee County. This was exemplified by your actions displayed on December 22, 2021. I want to take this opportunity to commend all of you for your efforts, and I look forward to this continued collaboration. You're truly professionals. Thank you very much, guys, and congratulations.
Thanks, John. Amazing effort, and Lee County should be proud of the Lee County Sheriff's Department. Thank you. Move to item D, the employee spotlight. Mr. Norberg come up with this idea. Chris, do you want to elaborate on what we're here, and then we'll get set up?
Yeah, so we, Lori kind of promoted this after hearing what she had done. And we need to recognize stuff like this. We have a lot of great employees, actions that you guys do. I'm guessing we'll probably see something here in the next quarter from for you guys, for Mr. Symington. And so this is a great way to recognize our employees. We're trying to change the culture here. You guys have continued to see it, and we're excited to do this quarterly contribution to employees who go above and beyond. So
Thank you. At this time, Lori Miller and Ryan Krebs, you want to come up? Nancy wants to give you your say a few words.
Good evening. I want to start with saying that I've had the pleasure of knowing and working side by side with Lori Miller for about 6 years. When the Employee Spotlight Program was created, the first name that came to mind for me was Lori Miller. She always goes above and beyond her regular scope when it comes to her work and dealing with the public and all of the employees of Lee County. Her work ethic is outstanding, and if you were to ask anyone, they would say she is awesome to work with. When it comes to the county's new wellness committee, Lori has been the person behind making this committee so successful, and she is the one that has brought so much awareness to this county about health and well-being. It has been a pleasure to work with her, and Lee County is very fortunate to have her as an employee. Thank you, Lori, for all you do, and congratulations. The Now, on to the second person that I nominated, and that is Ryan. Ryan, I chose to nominate Ryan for many reasons, but most importantly for his dedication to his job here in the old courthouse building. He has only been with us for just under 1 year, but it feels like he's been here for a lot longer. He has such a wonderful mindset and gets along with everyone very well. His work ethic is outstanding, and he is always there to help with matters that might be out of his normal job description. He is another employee that Lee County should be very proud of, and this is why I nominated him. Congratulations, Ryan, and thanks for all you do for this building and for the county, and especially all you do for me and all my different offices. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Nancy. Thanks, Brian and Lori. Also, we had Lisa Wiggins was on your agenda in your packet. She couldn't make it tonight, so we'll take care of her next month's meeting. So we'll move down to item 7, approval of board minutes of the December 21st, 2021 regular county board meeting. Is there any changes or corrections? If none, we'll let them stand as read. We'll move down to, we have an item on here, item number 8, zoning and planning petitions, reports and minutes. It's something Dee put in here, it's her packet. You can read in there. I don't know if anybody's got any questions, comments. It's pretty detailed. She put her minutes in from the zoning and everything else. Read through them at your pleasure. If there's no questions or comments. I'm not checking. I just let them stand as read. I need to back up and I need a motion to approve the minutes. Mr. Norberg, Mr. Kitson seconds. Any discussion about the minutes? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Motion carried. Okay, we'll go back to the zoning. I have nothing. We'll keep on moving on. We'll go to item 9. Petitions going to the zoning board of appeals. Okay, now I see it. Okay. I have. Yep. Sitting here. So I got A under item 9, petition 21-P-1584, petitioner Michael Partington, parcel number 0708-0637-003. I'd entertain a motion to move that to the zoning board of appeals. Marilyn, Mr. Strippert first, Mr. Kitson second. Any discussion? If none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. So go to item 10. I apologize. We got new technology tonight. We're trying to work our way through here. I've got 10A. I've got a petition. These petitions are going to the planning commission. So I got petition 22-PC-66, ordinance of solar energy systems as accessory use. If you look over to the right, it's over to your right in your packet. This is an ordinance, so we're gonna make a motion to lay it over for a month. Let's get it on the floor. Mr. Nicholson, Mr. Kitson, seconds. Any discussion? It's an ordinance. We're gonna vote to lay it over a month. Yes, Mr. Norberg.
Charlie, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't this have to go for a public hearing at planning? Being it's
Correct. I think that's why it was going to the planning commission.
okay. Can we send it to planning
So we're just
without
sending-
having to lay it over, or does it
Yeah.
have to lay over when it comes back from planning?
It has to lay over when it comes back from planning.
I stand corrected. We're just sending it over. Thank you. We're just voting right now to send it to planning. Any more discussion, questions?
So you're gonna have to change their,
Change the motion. Who made the motion? All right, you second that. All right. Any further discussion? Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No? Motion carried. Item 11, we have no petitions coming from the zoning board of appeals, so we'll go down to 12 petitions coming from the planning commission. This is where the ordinance is. Okay, so we'll do these one at a time. I got petition 21 PC-65. That's a text amendment. And that's coming from the planning, petitions coming from the planning commission. I'm going to vote to approve the petition. Is that what we're doing in this section? All right. Sorry, I lost my minutes or my notes in there. So I entertain a motion to approve that petition. Ms. Shippert, Mr. Forster seconds it. Any discussion? If none, so all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No? Motion carried. Now we go to the resolution 21 PC 65. Johnny, you got a question? Okay. I'd entertain a motion to approve the resolution. Nancy? Mr. Kitson seconds it. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Hold on a minute. You're doing something all right. Third one is the ordinance. I don't know, I got piece of 65. Yeah.
This is the one that got labeled in the packet as a resolution, but it's really an ordinance. So this one does need to lay over.
So we do them all three together, or how are we gonna do this? I mean, we got a petition, a resolution, an ordinance. All right, well then I apologize. Okay, now I got my notes back. So it says, coming from the planning commission, the petition, a text amendment to allow the use of many warehouses, special use and commercial districts. This is an ordinance. It's got to lay over 30 days. So let's restart this and entertain a motion to approve that. Mr. Norberg and Nancy seconds it. Any more discussion? If none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Wendy, we got administrator monthly update or board member comments. Do you have anything you want to share with us, Wendy?
I do not, other than the things that are on the agenda.
Any board members have a comment at this time? If none, we'll go to public visitors comments. I have no public visitors want to speak. So now we'll go to committee reports. And we'll start out with administrative services, Mr. Norberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Minutes are in the packet. Couple things I want to highlight. You can go ahead and start pulling your petitions for county board or any of the elected offices down in the clerk's office. And really all we got. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the claims process. And I think everybody did. So from everybody I talked to. So that concludes my report unless anybody has any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Norberg. Any questions for Mr. Norberg? Thank you. We'll go to Blackhawk Hills Regional Council, Mr. Nicholson.
Yeah, this is a bi-monthly meeting and this was the off month, so there's no report.
All right. Thank you. We'll go to claims, Ms. Shippert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Claims has met twice. You do have some claims at the end of your packet. And this will be an ongoing feature. I'm not going to read what's in the minutes. I'm going to tell you a little bit different information. We've, in our 2 meetings, we spent approximately 3 hours learning the software to go through this process of approval. I think it's going to be wonderful once we get all the kinks out of it. We've got to learn it. The department heads are learning. But it's in the end, it's going to be wonderful and simplify the process. So I think it's a step in the positive direction. You know, there is a committee report in the packet, but You can read that. I just wanted to add something extra. Thank you.
We've got a new program called My View. Is that correct?
My view, yeah.
You want to elaborate on that any at all, or?
When the department heads have the opportunity to enter their invoices, what they do is scan the invoice. And then there is a drop-down menu that they, specific to their department. So it shows, what line item that this should be billed to. It shows them what they have already used funds from that line item, what remains in that line item. And then depending on the amount of that invoice, if it's under 1,000, it's just approved by the department head. If it's over 1,000, then it comes to the claims committee. We look at it, we see if the invoices match, if they've entered the correct number. That's what's taken the committee some time to learn the process also. But I think it's great. The department heads can see exactly where they're at with their budgets.
I think it's an awesome program, and I think the department heads are behind it, and it's working seamless so far. So
It's just a learning curve for everybody.
yes, about like our board books tonight. So thank you, Ms. Shepherd. We'll go to finance, and Mr. Kitson gonna give us the finance report.
Yes, we met last Thursday. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We approved the treasurer's monthly report, and I'm using my old paper notes for this. Apologize. Technology is catching up. We reviewed a bid for IT services, passed that out administrative, and we approved the three committee recommendations from ARPA. Passed those on to executive. And the rest of the notes are all in the packet. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Kitson? Thank you, Tom. Health Department, Mrs. White couldn't be with us tonight. She did tell you that everything's in the packet, if you want to look at it. We'll go down to 911, Mr. Hudson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Other than what's already been provided by Director Dallas, there's nothing more to add since our last meeting. Next meeting is February 26th.
So I got any questions for Mr. Hudson? Thanks, Keen. We'll go to properties. Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met Tuesday. The information is in the packet. One thing that we're working on currently is we're seeking bids for the architectural work and the engineering for the old LEC to repurpose the old LEC. And hopefully by next month, we'll have something to report. That's all I've got.
Any questions for Mr. Wilson? Thanks, Tom. We'll go to public safety, health and judicial. Mr. Copine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Public safety met on January 12th. Previous minutes from the previous meeting were approved. We had reports from the department heads that were present and also comments by any visitors that were here. And surprisingly enough, it's probably one of the shortest meetings we've had so far due to the change in process of claims, and I love it. Anybody has any questions, please let me know. That we did have under old business an update from Mr. Scrogstad on the UTV, which is still in the works. Anybody has any questions, they could direct them to Mr. Scrogstad.
Any questions for Mr. Copine? Thanks, Mike. Go to transportation, solid waste, Mr. Forster.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Transportation Solid Waste Committee met on Monday, January 10th in Amboy. Usual business. I'd like to have a motion to approve the claims. Should be in front of you, everything.
Mr. Considine moves. Do I got a second? Ms. Naylor, second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion carried.
Also at this time, Mr. Anderson, do you have we were going to discuss, is that now or later? Is it in the?
I think we'll do it later when we get there. There'll be some questions. We'll go through that as we go. If it's all right with you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions for Mr. Forster? Thanks, Doug. Tri-County opportunities, Marvin's not here. Tourism, Mr. Palin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The flyers on your desk about our tourism. We have created Burley, our cartoon bison mascot. His first appearance will be in our 2022 Fun Guide and many publications to follow. Now, Doing Piano is a dinner program sponsored by Sublet 365 will be held on February 12th, 6 o'clock. Dixon Theater will host Riza, an illusionist, on January 23 at 4 o'clock. And Dinosaur World Live will appear February 12th, 7:30 and 10 o'clock at the Dixon Theater. Our share of the hotel motel tax for November was $6,334.76. This concludes my report.
Any questions for Mr. Palin? Thanks, Bill. UCCI, Mr. Forster.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, we met UCCI on November 15th in Springfield in person. You have all the minutes in your packet there, I should say on our new iPads. Anyway, our next meeting, which I will be unable to attend, is this coming Monday. So on the 24th, and it will not be, well, it'll be in Springfield, but it's by Zoom because of right now the uptick in the coronavirus. So I forward that information to you, Mr. Chairman. I didn't know if we appointed anyone yet to fill in. I'm going to be out of country, so I won't be able to do the Zoom.
If anybody's interested, talk to me after the meeting and we'll if anybody wants to sit on that, we can do that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions, for Mr. Forster? Thanks, Doug. We go to M, executive and claims. Normally here we approve claims. We've given that authority to the claims committee, so I have no claims to approve and I have no executive report. Your minutes are in your packet. So now we got county officers reports. If you look in there, everybody's got the report in there. Any questions, comments? If none, we need no action on that. We'll move to old business. We have a resolution, adjustment of precinct boundaries, establishing polling locations. Yes.
Don't you need a motion to approve the county officers report? And we have to vote on that.
I don't know. I don't have it in my notes, but okay. Thank you. Is that a motion?
Sure.
Mr. Kitson, second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No, same thing. Thank you. Motion carried. So now we go to the resolution, adjustment of precinct boundaries and establishing the polling locations. It's in your packet, adjustment of precinct boundaries, establishing polling locations. It's a resolution. Mr. Nicholson and Ms. Shippert. Mr. Nicholson first, Ms. second from Ms. Shippert. Any discussion? All those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. We'll go to new business. ARPA committee funding recommendations. Can we vote on all these together as one? Charlie? So let's read through them. We got Sauk Valley Community College, the agricultural program that went through ARPA, went through finance. Mr. Norbert, do you want to talk on this?
They've got a lot of different things that they want to do to expand their agriculture program out at Sauk, greenhouse. It's all here in the packet. So.
All right. Okay. The second one is Lee County Tourism Council. Mr. Nicholson, you want to talk about that any?
This is to make up for some lost revenue just due to advertising sales, give us a kickstart in putting out a new brochure and the Z card, which was highlighted here in the.
All right.
Our receipts were down about $38,000.
Then the third one we're going to be voting on is Lee County business permits. That's more of a restaurant. Lee County Health Department permits. It's 60,000 for 2 years. We're gonna take them out of ARPA, so the hardest hit restaurants in the county will not have to pay for them for the next 2 years. So I got them 3 items. I'd like somebody to make a motion to approve all 3. Mr. Kitson. All right, first I need a motion, thanks. First I need a motion to approve all 3 at one time, Mr. Balin. And then second by Mr. Kitson. All those in favor to approve them all at the same time, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Okay, now I need a motion for all 3 of them. Mr. Kitson makes a motion to approve all 3. Mr. Hudson seconds it. Any discussion on approving all 3? If none, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No. Motion carried. Let's go to B. IT service bid approval. Do I have a motion to approve this from Syndio Networks? Mr. Kitson, Ms. Shepherd seconds it. Any discussion? If none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Now we go to the Lee County QBS policy 2022 Highway Department. Mr. Anderson, would you like to explain this?
Sure, you've got 2 things there, a policy and a resolution. Really, I think all you need to act on is the resolution because the resolution is adopting the policy. So as long as the policy is attached to the resolution, when you file it, should be in good shape there. QBS, qualification-based selection, why do we even need to do it? It's really addressed in the second whereas clause of the resolution. It's because 50 ILCS 510 says so. So we need to do it. It's been around for a while. We haven't really addressed it and haven't really needed to at this point, but I can kind of see in the near future that the potential exists to hire some consultants to do some engineering work that could cost $40,000 or more, which is the threshold within the law. And this just provides a policy or a framework in which the selection process takes place. It basically mirrors IDOT's Bureau of Local Roads and Streets manuals section that addresses the policies. So we really shouldn't have any issues as far as IDOT's concerned with that if state funds are used to procure a consultant. So just a policy to address that.
So the only action we have to have is on the resolution, correct?
That'd be correct. I should say the only caveat to that $40,000 limit is an emergency situation, or if you have an existing satisfactory relationship with a consultant.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution? Mr. Forster. Mr. Wilson seconds it. Any questions or comments or discussion? All those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Resolution passed. Now we're going to go to a resolution with support of law enforcement professionals to demand the repeal of House Bill 3653, the Safety Act in its entirety. I asked Jack to read this resolution. We're going to send this to the House, Senate President, and Governor. Jack, would you want to read that resolution?
Sure. This is a support of law enforcement professionals and a demand that the repeal of House Bill 3653, the Safety Act in its entirety. Whereas for generations, the brave men and women of law enforcement community have answered the call to serve and protect our communities. Our law enforcement officers embody the courage and honor that represents the best of the state, county, and local jurisdictions throughout the state of Illinois. And whereas in a moment of danger and desperation, the first people we turn to are law enforcement officers. These are unsung heroes, risk their lives so that they can live in a peace and security. And whereas enduring long shifts in dangerous and unpredictable circumstances, our law enforcement officers demonstrate remarkable self-control and operate under extreme pressure with uncommon professionalism. They deal with complex, challenging situations and to see the worst elements of humanity in the underbelly of society. Situations to which most citizens have the privilege of turning a blind eye. And whereas we owe dutiful respect and humble gratitude to the law enforcement officers who work tirelessly with honor, dedication, and integrity to protect us and sacrifice so much to maintain and defend civil order in our community. And whereas on January 13th, the Illinois General Assembly passed House Bill 3653, which sponsors the bill called the Safety Act and abolishes bail, cash bail, hinders law enforcement's ability to apprehend offenders, fails to protect victims, and embodies criminals by removing consequences. And whereas the new law created a task force to study qualified immunity for police officers, created an anonymous complaint process to pressure officers, and made dangerous charges in the use of force by officers, putting both the public and law enforcement at risk. It changed the standards for felony murder to make it more difficult to charge some of our society's most dangerous predators. Whereas the Lee County Board feels this new law has made the job of protecting the public more difficult for law enforcement officers, and the Lee County Board believes law enforcement is essential to protecting lives, property, and businesses, and firmly supports law enforcement officers at state, county, and local levels who put their lives at risk every day to serve and protect our community. Now, therefore, may it be resolved by the County Board of Lee County, Illinois, that Section 1, the Lee County Board thanks law enforcement officers who stand every day as our guardians of peace and order, ready to protect our families and businesses and our freedoms. Section 2, the Lee County Board publicly acknowledges our support and appreciation for the commitment and sacrifices made by every member of law enforcement community to keep the public safe. Section 3, the Lee County Board recognizes the importance of continuing to foster positive interactions between state, county, and local law enforcement officers and members of our community. Section 4, the Lee County Board acknowledges the rising trend in law enforcement response calls relating to mental health, domestic abuse, and addiction, and recognizes the need to support our community and our law enforcement officers with appropriate resources to help properly respond to those societal challenges. Section 5, the Lee County Board recognizes the importance of continuing to promote diversity in law enforcement recruitment efforts and to invest in our police officers' training and professional development programs. The Lee County, Section 6, Lee County Board acknowledges that law enforcement officers oftentimes take it upon themselves to demonstrate random acts of generosity and kindness throughout our community, and to do so without any desire for fanfare or public recognition. Section 7, the Lee County Board encourages our fellow residents, businesses, civic groups, and sister agencies to do all in their power and spheres of influence to express their appreciation and support of our state, county, and local law enforcement officers. Be it further resolved by the County Board of Lee County, Illinois, that we demand the Illinois General Assembly to value and protect crime victims, law enforcement, those that are on the streets protecting our community and public every day. Be it further resolved that we demand Lee County or the Illinois General Assembly repeal House Bill 3653, the Safety Act, in its entirety.
Thanks, Jack. I'd entertain a motion to approve this. Mr. Hudson, Mr. Farnsworth seconds it. Any discussion?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. House Bill, the Safety Act, what is it, 3653, was put together over the last decade to address many issues on bail, sentencing. It does not defund the police. It gives you more training. There's a lot of things in it that have been looked into, have been studied. Yes, it was passed in the middle of the night because of a public uproar, but studies, if you look at the whole thing, it was put together with a lot of good technical background. It is a change. Sentencing changes, bail changes, but I agree to most everything in this resolution. Our department, our sheriffs have been, our deputies have been very good on taking care of stuff, but this is a statewide law. It is established law. We are not here to change established state law. If we have issues, we go and look at the issues of it is, but not in its entirety. I would support this motion if it was amended and the last sentence was taken out of it, that it further resolved that we demand the Illinois General Assembly to repeal this act. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Hudson made the motion. You want to leave it stand as you made it? All right. Any more discussion? We'll do a roll call vote on this.
Could you clarify what we're voting on?
The resolution in front of you for House Bill, I don't know the number, 3653. It's a resolution stating that Lee County supports them to take another look at it and redo it.
Okay, thank you.
To repeal it.
Send the letter is all we're doing, right?
Go ahead. Any more discussion? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nancy.
Nicholson,
Yes.
Norberg,
Yes.
Palin,
Yes.
Sheline,
Yes.
Shippert,
Yes.
Scrogstad,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zeman,
Yes.
Allen, yes. Valley,
No.
Bivens,
Yes.
Book,
Yes.
Considine,
Yes.
Farster,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Humphrey, Kitson,
Yes.
Copine,
Yes.
Minimi,
Yes.
Naylor,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes. Motion carried. We'll go down to appointments. I have no appointments. I don't have anything for executive session. I need a motion for request for deposit of funds. Mr. Kitson, do I have a second? Mr. Book, any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carried. I need a motion for mileage and per diem. Mr. Copine, do I have a second? Mr. Kitson? Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. I need a motion for all bills and appropriation and allowed by roll call. Mr. Kitson? Do I have a second? Ms. Naylor?
Bob, may I interject at this point?
Yes.
To add clarity to this. So you've officially given the authority to the Claims Committee to approve claims. So everything you see on this report in front of you has already been paid and processed through the treasurer's office. What you are doing with this step here is essentially a ratification of all those claims. And for transparency's sake, we want you, the board, to see the total report of all claims that were paid over the last month. Keep in mind, this report is a little bit fragmented because of the transition period, but going forward in the future, you will always see this report, and you're essentially, by taking action here, just ratifying the approval that the Claims Committee has already authorized and paid.
Yeah, go ahead.
Norberg,
Yes.
Palin,
Yes.
Sheline, Sheline, can't hear you. Mr.
Yes.
Sheline? I'm sorry, yes,
Yes.
thank you. Shippert,
Yes.
Scrogstad,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zeman,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Valley,
Yes.
Bivens, Book,
Yes.
Considine,
Yes.
Farster,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Humphrey,
Yes.
Kitson,
Yes.
Copine,
Yes.
Minimi,
Yes.
Naylor,
Yes.
Nicholson,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes. Motion carried. Do you have something you want to fix, Nancy?
Yes. So last month at the county board meeting, we did not have a motion for the bills and appropriations. So sorry.
So moved.
So moved.
Do I have a motion? Mr. Bailey moves. Do I have a second? Mr. Book seconds. All those in favor for last month's bills and appropriations, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion carried. Okay, better do roll call. Sorry. Just wanted to get out of here, you know?
That's right. the last one.
Okay, so bear with us. Okay. All righty. Palin,
Yes.
Sheline,
Yes.
Shippert,
Yes.
Scroggstead,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zeman,
Yes.
Ellen,
Yes.
Valley,
Yes.
Bivens, Book,
Yes.
Considine,
Yes.
Farster,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Humphrey,
Yes.
Kitson,
Yes.
Yes.
Copine, Minimi,
Yes.
Naylor,
Yes.
Nicholson,
Yes.
Norberg,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes. Motion passed. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Considine and Miss Allen. Mrs. Allen, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.